Well, it's great to be with everybody today. We're going to talk through top 5 features we love in Tanzu Platform 10.2, and these are not just 10.2. Some of these are not just 10.2 features, but also features that are already available to Tanzu Platform or Tanzu Application Service customers today. But
hmm
also talk through why they matter to application teams. I think that's really the big thing when we get to the end of this, or I should say, the crux of the Tanzu platform story is it is an application platform, and at the end of the day, we want to make sure it is a platform that developers want to use. And so, why they matter to your app teams. And so, with that, we'll kind of dive into our slides, and first and foremost, talk about what is Tanzu platform. And so, yep, if we jump to that next slide, perfect. So, Tanzu Platform is really it is an application platform that we look at as it is a end-to-end platform as a service. And we say it's AI ready because it is built to deliver AI apps that help organizations accelerate that idea to code and then code to production. And the whole idea here again is to really simplify application development with powerful frameworks and APIs that also help enforce enterprise standards. So for platform engineering teams, it gives you the ability to enforce those enterprise standards and create a compliant and governed application platform, or I should say runtime environment for your applications to reside on top of. And so it does this today, starting with that Elastic App Runtime that you see across the bottom. And for our TAS customers, they know this really, really well. Tons of application service customers, they know this well because this is the runtime that all their apps have been running on in many cases for a long time, years, in most of these cases. And then with that, it's complemented by a number of services. So you see build services, you see Spring services, data services, AI services, and marketplace services. And really, at the end of the day, build service is there to help you automate container builds and enforce those security and compliance standards. We have our Spring developer services to provide that enterprise grade framework to continuously evolve your applications, as well as delivering new AI apps, or I should say new AI integrations to those applications. You have your data services, which are going to provide that self-service access to managed and governed open source databases, and which is in the form of tiles. And Nick will actually going to be demoing that a little bit later. And
hmm
then those AI services, the goal here is really to simplify the path to production for AI and ML models, as well as ensure that those access to those models are governed. And so we're going to talk a lot about that actually a little bit later in our session today. And then you have your marketplace services, and this really enables seamless connection to that curated ecosystem of tools, meaning that as a platform engineer, I can actually curate access to, different marketplace services. So for example, if I want to have specific data services or AI models that are accessible to my developers, I can very easily govern access to it with that. But it is a application platform as a service that is very much built for platform engineering teams, but then with the developers as the primary consumer. So with that, Nick, we can jump to that next slide, and let's dive right in. Let's talk about our feature number one, our top 5 favorite feature number one, Tanzu
hmm
Hub. And Tanzu Hub, this is really the centralized control plane for managing Cloud Foundry foundations at scale. And so what it does is it provides that unified dashboard for not just application delivery, but also management and observability. And it does this by giving you the ability to, when we have foundations that are deployed at scale, we can centrally manage those foundations, as well as get very easy observability. And so if you are an existing TAS customer today, and you maybe are familiar with, hey, I'm managing some things today with independent ops man, dashboards across multiple environments, as well as potentially leveraging HealthWatch. Tanzu Hub is a way to bring all of the management of those foundations together into one place. And so we can easily discover, monitor, and manage the development of those or I should say manage those environments, as well as get good visibility into the applications that are running on them. And then we also have topology views that actually give you a much better understanding as to the dependencies of different applications. So I can actually see what are the applications that are bound to specific services that are within my environment. So if there is something that's being impacted in the environment today, I can very easily see, hey, where does that bottleneck exist, or where is that problem found, and address that accordingly. And Tanzu Hub is very easy to deploy. And this is something actually we talk about here on our next slide, but it's very easy. If you are, again, a Tanzu platform customer today, the Opsman, dashboard the operations manager dashboard is nothing that's new to you, and it's very easily deployable as a tile. And so it's a very familiar installation experience for customers that have been around Tanzu application service for quite some time, where you're just deploying it as a tile, and then very few and minimal configuration inputs to make it as simple as possible to deploy Tanzu Hub. But I think what we'd like to do is, you don't want to hear us just talk about this and see slides. You really probably want to see Tanzu Hub in action. And so,
Yeah,
Nick, why don't you take us through Tanzu Hub?
sure. All right, let me break out of the slide share here. And we could do some live driving through Tanzu Hub, and we'll go from there. So let's get back to here. We'll open this. Let's see if I'm still. Let me probably need to zoom in a bit here, right? Yeah, I got the lovely
Yep, just a
widescreen
little.
going on here.
Yep, perfect.
All right, so looking okay for you? I'll
hmm
refresh to make sure I get a clean session here. So first and foremost, if you don't know who I am, uh, I've been at VMware Broadcom for close to 4 years now, but before that, I was a customer. I was a platform engineer using Tanzu Application Service, Pivotal Cloud Foundry, Tanzu Platform for quite some time. I've seen a lot of things, and I'm super excited about Hub because a lot of the things that like I did, it's covering, and it would kind of help out the platform engineer a lot in that space, help manage multiple foundations and things of that nature. And additionally, if you have a solid platform, that's going to roll up to your developers, and they're going to be happy because things will just work, and they won't have to think about infrastructure, and they can just go and like push their code and like work on their projects, and they don't have to worry about is something they're doing broken or that type of thing. So when we log into Hub, this is our kind of our welcome page. I've logged into the Tanzu Platform admin view, so I'm seeing the kind of the foundational view. I can see how many apps deployed. I can see if I have alerts, critical alerts that have been triggered, and see what's going on there. So like maybe we should go check out that alert. Like this is a live view. This is a live alert, and they have made sure this alert was triggered, so we can show an alert. But let's go into here. So I'm going into one. I have two foundations hooked up to this environment, and one of my foundations is alarming, and I should go as a platform engineer check that out and make sure everything's healthy or take action. And the triggered alert is the Diego cell memory capacity alarm that's going off, and that is a key to my heart, because that's one of the main kind of capacity thresholds to watch as developers scale on the platform. And if that Diego cell capacity runs out, their application deployments could potentially be impacted, or they might not be able to schedule within the system. So therefore, their apps won't push per se, right? So let's click into that Diego cell memory alert, and let's see what's going on. So I've clicked on the alert. It's alarmed. It's opened up a run book, and it's saying, hey, what's going on here? It's like your Diego cell memory is below the threshold of recommendation, what we recommend. So like that critical threshold is basically if you get below 30% memory free within the Diego cell system, you as a platform engineer, you should take action. You should check that out, right? And before I started kind of deploying some applications, I was at 44%. I had plenty of slack space, but you basically want to maintain slack space within the system, so things can get dynamically scheduled up and down. We have all this like repaving. We can constantly rebuild the infrastructure underneath the covers without really impacting anyone. So this is all just about maintaining like a healthy slack space within the system. And I've been doing some more work today. Let's see here. We are at like 23% free. So definitely getting to the point where like I should probably go and add some more Diego cells. It's going to give me probably a live run book. Hey, like you should deploy additional Diego cells because you're below 30%. And it even assumes that like you have multiple availability zones within the platform. We don't have to cover that here, but it also then, which is another nice thing, so it's not only telling me that my Diego cell capacity is low, which is kind of a critical thing, but additionally it's saying, hey, like who is using space within within your system. So like the system space is the kind of the root space of the system, but it's also I have my GenAI samples, I have webinar staged. These are actually spaces within the platform. I can find the team, so to speak, who's using that sort of and kind of help go from there. So that's kind of an example of a runbook. If we wanted to, we could edit this alert and start modifying values to like tweak it if we didn't like that metric. But that's just a kind of a threshold here going on, and it's pretty nice. And we can see where it triggered, and we see this. It's been tracking ever since. And as of August 7th, I kind of went below that threshold, and now it's August 13th, and we're still there. And really like that kind of historical trend of where we're going. Additionally, if we had a business applications defined, it would say, hey, what business level applications could be impacted, things of that nature. But again, that's just the kind of the first, like I'm logging in, I'm gonna get my coffee in the morning, I'm seeing what's going on, like I've got an alert, and obviously I don't have this configured, but this could send like a webhook or an email to like a webhook to like a PagerDuty or some kind of like alerting system to like page the on call. Maybe if you had that set up in a real world scenario to like check that out, not just however many days later after it triggered, right? And go on from there. But if we go back to home, I think we're going to see our foundation view, and I want to go into foundations, I think. So we can see within here, I have two foundations running, and it's giving me the capacity of all my systems. It's telling me however many app instances are running, how many service instances are running. I have labels here on the right-hand side. We can go into the foundation group as well. So new within 10.2 is this concept of foundation groups. So these, I've grouped this. I created a foundation group called kind of the external prod foundation. So these are foundations that I run within my lab, and they're exposed to the internet, so like other people can use them. A lot of people within our friends at Tanzu use them and do some testing and things. So that's kind of like grouped them together. They're both considered prod. I'm using one of them right now for this demo. So I'm using the TDC environment. I'll probably actually use both of them for the demo. So like I consider them prod. I'll probably pull in some non-prod foundations here too to get some additional groups. But this foundation group is really about grouping similar foundations together. You can see that we're starting to see allocations of like, hey, like I can see at a quick glance like how much my Diego memory is free and how it's balanced. So if we wanted to maybe go down the road and look at potential future things, maybe we could help balance these two foundations out, so to speak, and see one is overused and maybe kind of roll some capacity to another one, that type of thing. So again, this is a newer feature. We're just kind of scratching the surface with just some kind of telemetry out of here, but I'm really looking forward to where foundation groups go in the future. And I'm already kind of seeing some pretty useful capacity here where like, hey, we could see the workload balance between the two. All right, so we've covered foundation groups and alarms. If we go back to foundations, I'm going to drill into probably my larger foundation here. So this pane in foundation, if you've seen like HealthWatch, it's a lot like HealthWatch. There's a lot of views from HealthWatch. So we kind of have like a multi-foundation HealthWatch going in where you can toggle between multiple instances here within Hub. You don't have to go to your multiple Grafana instances and kind of go, it's all kind of one centralized place, which is nice. I'm starting. You can see on the right-hand pane, you'll see all these health checks. They're all green, but I have my cert health checks. I got 2 certs going to expire within 90 days, so I might want to check that out here too. I've got organizational mappings, a lot of things going on here, which is nice. I have no alarms in this environment, which is good. So I only have the one alarm that I knew about that I purposely kind of let happen. And I can go, I'll just kind of flip through the tabs here and kind of talk about what's going on within the topology here. So Darren mentioned topology mappings, which is really nice. We have topology mapping in multiple places within the platform. Maybe I have to zoom in here because of the screen share here a little bit. But at a higher level here, if I'm looking at the topology map of the entire foundation, I have business applications defined. So I have 2 business apps defined. If I had an alarm at the foundation level, it would be triggering these 2 business applications could be impacting by this alarm. I have apps and services running. I could see all of those. I have see how many spaces I have defined within the system. And then I even see within the VCF layer what vCenter it's attached to. I don't have any vCenter alarms triggered, but if I did, that would bubble up as well. So again, it's a pretty nice view of topology as we can see all of these things going on here. And then I'm going to continue to toggle through here. We have capacity. We're seeing a lot of capacity alarms here. We're seeing org memory quota usage, app allocations, a lot of new things here that we're all just kind of not really easily rolled up anywhere else. So I can easily see like what org is using the most system resources, which is nice, especially when you may be constrained where maybe your underlying VCF infrastructure is out of space, or you're waiting on new hosts to be provisioned, but you're still seeing alarms, or maybe you can go some of those top users and be like, hey, is there anything you can shut down in the meantime, that type of thing. And then that remaining chunk value is that based on how many more apps I can schedule within the system is tied to that Diego capacity. Boss director, that's kind of like the brains behind the scenes, running all the infrastructure as code automation. Everything's happy there, just key metrics there. Overall platform health. So all of my different jobs that make up the platform all green. If one of these services were down, it would turn red and be like, hey, something's wrong there. I can see my running app instance count go up and down. It's pretty nice. And then all these other job statuses, like historical, like I got a lot of things going on here. So it's I'm not going to go through every one of them, but these are all, if you've seen Help Watch, a lot of these are taken from Help Watch, and there are new things added to them as well. We covered Diego a lot, so this is where like the drill down into that Diego memory alarm, additional capacity here. This foundation, this is my other foundation I have, has 51% use, so it's not below the 30% threshold, so everything's happy there. I can see my Go routers, which are how application traffic ingresses to the platform. Everything's happy here. Our login subsystem, everything's happy here. That's good to go. We can see how many messages are coming in per second, that type of thing. Certificates, yeah, I have a lot of certificates, but I do see my Spring Cloud Services certificates are expiring soon, within 82 days. So I'll need to take care of that as well, and additional other certs. So that's nice. What's really nice too within Tanzu Platform is I see logging too. So this is another thing. I'm getting a centralized logging view of like the platform syslog drain, the application syslog drain, the application logs, and all these other components. So I could see what's happening here at the platform level. I can see at the application level as well. And then additionally, I could see tile management too, where I'm starting to see like a multi foundation tile management view, or kind of like this is you typically kind of see this with an ops manager too. So that's kind of a high level, the foundation groups here and foundation views. Additional things I hadn't shown yet, I can go in the platform health. So I can see like I'm starting to get the max instances deployed, service instances deployed across my foundations. I can see the usage of the build packs across foundations and how many apps are using each build pack, which is nice. I'm going to see container management and how many vCPUs are used. My app scale frequency, how many pushes are happening per month, and how many scale events are happening. So those are all key metrics in terms of like how successful and how well your platform is doing from a developer perspective, because that app deployments, that's the developer level, that's happening at the developer level, and more the merrier, and how easy that is. That's a kind of a great classic ROI story of and some of our larger customers, this deployment frequency is pretty incredible to see how many apps get pushed per day and that type of thing. We're starting to see drift between foundations if I wanted to, configuration drift. I don't have anything configured here, but we can see that like I already have 2 different versions of Bosch configured, but a lot of things are similar within this. And then go back to foundation groups where I have that one foundation group I've already covered. So it's a quick level. This is kind of more of the low level foundation health watch style view within Tanzu Hub. You can see it's a multi foundation view, and it's pretty nice to have all that rolled up in
Yeah,
one
and we
location.
have just as a quick shameless plug too. So there, I've been working on a blog series for Tanzu Hub. We
Hmm.
dropped a bunch of those links in the chat, so make sure if you have more interest in Tanzu Hub and want to learn more about it, this blog series is a great way to do so. We've got parts 1 through 3 already published.
Hmm.
Part 4 publishes next week. But Nick, I know we also I'm watching time here. We've got 4 more of our top 5 features. Do you wanna
Oh,
jump into our next one? Because the next one I know is quite a demo and is the one that
yeah.
probably many people always look forward to seeing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, let's do that. And I'll maybe pull this. I'll pull Hub back into
Yes,
some
yeah,
other parts too. Sorry.
yeah, I think
Thanks
we
for time
can. Yep,
checking me. I could
you're
probably
good.
spent like 10 hours today talking about stuff. So
Yeah,
all right. So we got a little Hub. Now let's. I guess I'll do slideshow for a bit here. Let's talk about the Gen AI and Tanzu platform. Generative AI. You may have heard about this thing. ChatGPT launched late 2023, and the world has changed since then. Uh, but what we aim to do, and what we have been doing for, I guess, close to 2 years now, is that we've been working on integrating, generative AI within the paths, making it really easy to use and really easy to build kind of intelligent applications and bind to some of these services. So at a quick level, what is it? What is GenAI on Tanzu platform? It is an additional tile you load into the platform. It provides you access to deploy models within the platform. You can integrate to when I say models, I mean large language models, uh, and you can integrate to external services like VMware Private AI or the external SaaS providers like Sam Altman's OpenAI or AKA ChatGPT or Azure or Google or Anthropic, whatever your choices you are. I think a lot of our customers have a mixed bag where they have a lot of their data use cases they can't take to those external model providers just because of intellectual property concerns, but they maybe have some general public use cases that they can use some of those services. So, but they also see a strong demand for private AI services and not having their data leaked or exposed across to unknown AI entity that may or may not be able to train off that data. And there's really no legal recourse if you leak your source code to an AI and it picks it up in its training set and can't really do anything about that. So uh, I guess a word for wisdom in terms of how you expose and what you send to some of these models going forward. Uh, and then additionally, from a developer perspective, they'll be presented within the apps manager different choices where they can easily just consume that and wire these models up into their application. But those are all controlled like in that previous view. That was the platform engineering view where they configure what models and what can be exposed to developers that are within their approved within their kind of governance and IT infrastructure. So then they can safely consume whatever's available here within this marketplace, and I'll just deep dive in a little bit of the architecture, and then I'll get into the demo, and then we'll go from there. And what's really going on behind the scenes, like I'll be showing some demos here, and it may be just quick level like what's happening here. So we have that Tanzu Platform Foundation, right, where we have that application workload running. We push an application to it. We'll see that happen, and it runs in that Diego stack that we were looking at, and it's going to make a call or a service call over to we call our AI server, and that's kind of like an AI router, AI middleware stack, where it knows how to route to talk to all these different model providers, whether that be within your 4 walls with on premises or the external providers, and it knows how to kind of speak all these different languages under the covers and talk to these models, and then kind of come back and let the application kind of talk to the AI server and proxy through it to get to these different models. So really kind of unlock that next level of intelligent application. And of course, a lot of these applications need data. So we have we talked about our Tanzu data services a bit, but we have Postgres for Tanzu platform. We'll show that. You can easily wire that up into here and do support retrieval augmented generation applications or embeddings, and we can show that here as well. So just to, this is a quick high-level architecture view. If you wanted to see, we could easily wire up into the VMware Private AI Foundation stack. If you're lucky enough to have one of those, we'll more than happy integrate and broker to it. And additionally, if you wanted to, you can talk to these external SaaS providers as well. That may or may not be an option. A lot of our customers, it's just not. And the other portion, it's kind of a mixed bag. So whatever you can do, we're here to work with whatever you have, so to speak. But let's go to the demo now. So we forgot that. All right, let's go. We need to go to Apps Manager here. And I probably could have just used that tab I already have open, but hey, let's go for new tabs, right? Okay, so this is Apps Manager. This is kind of the more of the developer view within Tanzu Platform. And we'll cover the orgs and spaces a little bit later, but I'm going to go into kind of the webinar on air space, and I've got a couple demos staged, but I'm going to talk about the MCP demo first, and we'll get from there. So let me find my VS Code here real quick. Let's see if I can do a side-by-side fresh demos. I think that's what I wanted. Let's do side-by-side here. All right, okay. Okay, CF apps. I'm gonna probably blow this up a little bit so you can read it. Oh boy, yeah, that's the challenge of zooming in. It's like, you may be able to read it, but can I? I don't know. All right, so we want to push an app, and I have an app already loaded within my VS Code, and I'm just gonna go ahead and push it here. I'm gonna check the manifest really quick. Okay, on air. All right, so let's see push, and we'll go from there. So I'm deploying like a front end application, and you'll see that it's kind of geared to be a chat bot, so to speak. So that'd be something that you may wire up to your existing, like, I don't know, like e-commerce stack or like website or whatever, or internal, knowledge base, so to speak. But we're pushing that to the application. What's cool is, like, I didn't really do much, but I had a jar file, and I had a very simple like manifest of just telling it what to name it. But it detected that it's a Java file, so it's compiled Java code, and it's a jar file if you don't know what that is. And it's like, okay, I'll take your jar file. I'm going to push it up to platform. It's doing a build pack process, which we'll talk about a little bit more about later too. But it's just figuring out how to build a container for you, and like the best practice for security is it's injecting certificates. It's going to hook it up to a load balancer, like and give it a route and everything. And all I had to do is really type one command, right? And I'm not really paying attention to this. I'm just letting it do its thing, and I'm kind of talking about it. But it's uploading, and it should be starting here soon. So that's and I don't know. I could make this go super fast if I wanted to, but it's, I don't know. We're talking like maybe like a minute or so if we wanted to really kind of go from here. But that should be starting up, and we'll see that application, and then we'll start to interact with it and kind of explore how else we want to interact with it. Okay. All right. So it should be running. Let's refresh here. And I guess I can go here. So we'll go to it here. I can see, memory usage, disk usage, logging. I've got one instance running of it. I'll kind of pull this out here for a little bit, and kind of the events. So this is just kind of basic. I've got my app running. I can see logs and networking here, but I can just go click this view app, and it'll bring up the page. So I went and pushed this application. We call it Tanzu Platform Chat. It's one of our internal kind of demo applications. But what's cool about this is that you can wire up a bunch of things to this application and kind of show how the marketplace and the AI services work together with it. If I look, I have no chat model, I have no documents, I have no vector store, I have no embedding model, I have no agents, and I have only transient memory, as in it's only in the memory of the actual container itself, which isn't great because we could, scale up the application or restart it, and all that would be gone. So I could just say hello. It's going to say no chat models available. It's sad, right? So what do we do? How do we make that better, right? So if we go back to our applications manager, I can go into services here, And as a developer, actually, let's just show the marketplace real quick here. So maybe to help save some time, the marketplace demo I'm doing in conjunction with the AI demo here, Darren,
Yep.
just
Makes
because
complete sense. Yep. Yep.
yeah, right, because it's happening right now anyway. So I'm a developer. I want to do this cool AI stuff, but I don't really know a whole lot about it. But I know my platform team has done a lot of work on it and like secured it, so I can just go into this, this console here and like kind of shop for what I want. Also have a lot of other services I could use here. So I could fire up a Postgres database. I get a Redis cache. I get Spring Cloud Gateway. All these different things, right? So let's go ahead and get a GenAI service here. And I have some services deployed here. So I have my external providers here. So I could talk to OpenAI, I could talk to Anthropic, and I could talk to Google, use Gemini 2.5 or whatever. But I'm not going to, because those are wired up to my own personal token accounts, and I use them for testing. But I don't want to use them for extended use because they cost Nick real money. And depending on the use case, it could be not so cheap. So I do have a pretty expansive home lab too. So I also on the Tanzu platform, I'm running the latest, the newest GPT OSS model. So like, if you haven't been paying attention to the model scene, OpenAI released GPT-5 and like their latest model, but they also released an actual fully open source model called GPT OSS, and it's kind of scoring within close to like the GPT 3 and 4 models. So we'll see that here, but it's great because it's fully Apache too, open source. It's free to use however you want, and it's completely private, where I'm kind of get the power of ChatGPT without sending any of my info to ChatGPT, and kind of running all within my local infrastructure. I could wire up and talk to the VMware Private AI Foundation model I have as well. And then I also have this Tanzu multi-model RAG plan, which I'm going to use because I'm going to actually show I can get multiple models at once here. So that's just kind of what's going on here behind the scenes. I'll go back to my app. We'll go back to webinar on air, and we'll go to the MCP demo again and service. So I've kind of, we can show that in a second, but I pre-plumbed or baking show style. I've already created a database just to save some time, but we're going to go back to our MCP app. I'm going to go service. Actually, I need to go into the app. I'll keep going into the space. So now I have no services. I want to get a chat model here. So I want to get some services. So I want to go to a new service. I want to go to the GenAI platform. And I'm going to select the multi-model RAG plan here. Do that, and then if you read the description, it says it's going to provide me access to the Tanzu provided models of GPT OSS and the Nomic embed text. And what does that mean? I'm going to be able to do chat. I'm going to be able to use tools, and I'm going to do embedding, which is kind of critical for some of these use cases. So I'm going to select plan. I'm just going to call this the same thing because, hey, I'm lazy. I'm going to go create. All right, give it a second here. Should finish creating and binding to it. So right now it's creating a whole like a service key to that plan, and then that's going to talk to it's going to route through the AI server, and I'm going to provide me kind of like RBAC access into that model, and a virtual key, and like rate limiting and all those things too, which is great for the platform side. So you can you invest in those models on-prem, and then kind of load balance them and rate limit them and control them at the platform or IT level spend to IT level view, and then safely let those developers use that. So I bound the plan. I just need to restart the application so it can pick up those new and service credentials. And what's actually happening there under the covers, it's injecting like environment variables and things into the app. And so the app just knows how to like pick those up along the fly. That's some of the benefit of like some of the Spring, because it's a Spring application that's using like a lot of the Spring Cloud service, like Spring Cloud binding nomenclature, where it can just look for certain variables and kind of auto wire them and like change the profile of the application on the fly. And we're using Spring AI, which makes it really easy to interact with these AI services as well within this application. So I think I can just go back to this where I have no chat. Now I see the chat model is available. So I should say, I also see that I have an embedding model available too. I don't have a vector source, so I can't upload documents yet, but we can fix that in a second. So let's just say hello again, hello. And it's going to think for a second, and it's like, hello, how are you today? Let's say, who are you? Right? And let's see. I'm ChatGPT, conversational AI created by OpenAI. So, I mean, that's you'll see that like we are talking to this latest GPT OSS model, and it's actually working out pretty well. And we'll see where we can get with it today. So I ran through this earlier. I have it staged as a backup, but it was kind of getting feisty with me. I was kind of enjoying it, so we'll see where it takes us. I have a pretty interesting test, and to help promote Explorer as well at the same time. So, all right. So I have a chatbot. Yeah, great, wonderful. We have AI. It's private. It's fast. It's mostly free. I'm not paying per token, that type of thing. So that's great to see. Now maybe I want to do some agents or some tools, documents. Let's do a little bit of that here. So I want to do a little bit of both. So and if you not too hip on the AI scene, so to speak, which is totally understandable because trying to stay up to speed with all the latest AI enhancements, it's a daunting task as things change multiple times a day at this point, I think. But when we talk about agentic AI or tool usage, really, or think about when mankind, you have mankind, and you like when we discovered fire, or we discovered the wheel, or like a hammer, right? That's kind of what's happening with these AI models, where now we're starting to say, hey, like you have all this training, and like we've spent all this money giving you all this data, but now we can, like, you're gonna just instantly be smarter if we like give you access to use like additional tools. So like for this instance, I'm going to deploy what we call an MCP server, which is kind of like a networking spec that the AI and this application can use to talk to different tooling, and it's going to run like the time, right? Because like these AI models without a tool that gives them the current time have no concept of what time it is, because they have a training set date, and as soon as that training set date ends, they're stuck in time, right? So then now we can give them, hopefully we can give this AI a tool to say, hey, go get the current time, and then we can do things with that, right? So let's go back. I'm going to go to my script cheat sheet here. So I'm going to go to here. Let's see if we can do this. All right. And now I'm going to push, let's look at this here. So I'm pushing another app to the platform. I'm going to use this MCP server on air. Okay, perfect. So again, another great example of using the platform here. But we're pushing another app to the platform. We're going to get that going, and that's going to be that time server that we can use. I can push n number of MCP servers to the platform. Some of my other demos, we have a tool that queries the current price of Bitcoin, which is a good tool to use because it's extremely volatile, and that's a good way to show what's going on there. But for this instance, let's just there's no point to really kind of fiddle with the current price of Bitcoin. I have a use case. I want to use time, and then I'm going to use a document. I'm going to do some things with it, right? So kind of a more realistic example of how to use tooling and retrieval augmented generation at once, right? All right, so that's going to push the platform. So we're gonna push this application to the platform. Then we're going to create a user provided service and wire that up to this Tanzu Platform chat application, so that it has this tool available. And then this Tanzu Platform chat is already connected to the large language model. So like the three of them together are going to be smart. And while this cooking here, let's what time is it, right? And I haven't asked this model this question yet without a tool, so hopefully it doesn't hallucinate. But all right, yeah. So I don't have real-time clock access, so I can't tell you the current time. But thank you, because yeah, it doesn't. So hey, like go check your phone or computer or clock, because whatever, like I don't have, yeah, like, so it's kind of funny there, right? So now that's ready to go. And then one more thing, we're gonna get my cheat sheet here, because I could type all these commands by hand, but that'd make me sad. No one wants to see me typo all over the place all the time. CF apps. Let's just double check that here. Oh boy, I need to zoom out a little bit on this one just so I can read. Tanzu on air chat, on air time MCP server. Oh yeah, I should get that folder out there. I'm glad I checked that. What I'm getting is I'm getting the URL of this application so that we can talk to it and send queries to it. And yeah, it's kind of important to have that full URL. So let's do this here. So what am I doing? I see up cups. What is that? So it's a user provided service. So if you wanted to give that whole service binding abstract or that experience that we're doing, you can provide your own user provided service. Where and traditionally that's like, let's go get a JDBC connection string to an Oracle huge database on-prem or something like that, or some other service that's not within Tanzu Platform, but you want to have that easy kind of like binding experience with your application. So I went ahead and created that. I bound that to that service, and let's go ahead and bind it to, or sorry, I created the user provided service, and I'm going to bind it to the application, kind of like what we did here. Oh, and I typed something wrong here. On air. All right, so let's use CF apps. Tanzu on air.
And time flies when we're having fun, but we are
Yeah.
down to about 20 minutes, and I know we still have 2 more of these to get through. So
Okay. Sorry.
it's all right. I just want to
All
make
right.
sure everybody sees our top 5.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to just do this from the screen, the UI here to save some time, because services here. We'll check out that service here. Like we can look in the actual configuration. Let's just hit this URL and make sure it's good. Really quick. Should provide a website. Okay. Yeah. Great. That's live. All right. All right. Okay. We'll go back to that. So now, I guess to save some time, I'm going to go bind some services. So I'm going to bind this MCP server, bind it here. And then I'm going to get a database too. I'm going to use that database I've already provisioned and bind to that. And then we can save on a restart and go from there. And we'll go from here. And then restart the app. Hooray. And then, yeah. So the other ones I think it can be quick too, but I know we are doing all this in an hour. 5 things. Yeah. Maybe not 5 things in 1 hour. I'm sorry. Be long-winded. All right. And so again, I bound a bunch of services to it. I'm trying to fill out all those little check boxes on our application. Let's see here. So I still have my chat model. I have a PG vector store, which is great because I do embeddings and I need to store those embeddings in a database, which is that Tanzu Postgres database we just deployed. Like if I want to upload a document, it's going to go there too. I've got an agent. It's healthy. It can do the get current time. So that's good. And I have persistent memory where like I can restart this app. I can scale it multiple times. It's got a persistent memory store where that context is going to be ready to go. So now, all right, let's go ahead and get into it really quick. I want to upload a file. So to test this, I got an email like a day or two ago, or maybe last night. It's like, hey, here's your 2025 Explore schedule. Like you've been like I'm presenting there. If you're going to Explore, you should come check out my sessions. Whatever, you should have a fun time. But it was the Explore system telling me, hey, you have rooms now, so like, go promote your sessions or something, right? So I uploaded this file. It's just literally like an email of like, here's this list, right? All right, so that's great, and I've got it ready to go. And say, let's say, hi, I am Nick Kuhn. What is my Explore schedule? We'll ask it a question. It's going to be processing that document, crunching those embeddings, and hopefully tell me what my Explore schedule is. We'll see. This is where it gets dicey, right? We start adding complex questions, and it's thinking and kind of really chunking up there. Okay, so like, hey, it's seen that like here are my sessions. I've got 2 sessions, the duplicate here, that type of thing. So that's pretty cool. And enjoy the conference. All right. Let's see here. Now, like say what. Can you tell me? I didn't quite list out all of my sessions here, so that's another beautiful thing of doing this live. It's like you get different quite results. Can you tell me all of my sessions? All of my. Let's see if it's gonna. This is where it gets feisty and starts arguing with you. But anyway, you kind of get the drift here. Where I wanted to get the full list, and then I want to say, hey, given the current time, how many days is it before my first session here? So, all right, this is close enough. Let's do this. Get the current time. and tell me how many days is it until my first session at the school, right? So hopefully it, gets the current time and, figures out that it's, what is it? I'm looking at my clock or my watch, which it told me to do. It's Wednesday the 13th. So 10:46 a.m. Pacific, right? 13
Mhm.
days. All right. I think that's about right. August
Yeah.
26th until my first session. Okay. So that's a quick example of what, yeah. So I'm on Eastern time, so let's use Pacific. I'm doing that conversion right. It knows what current time it is, and it knows how many days until my first session. So
Yeah.
that's a very quick level view of what to do here. I'll move on because I know we're over time.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. So if you're just joining us or just catching up, so our first feature that we love about Tanzu Platform 10.2 is Tanzu Hub. Our second feature is the GenAI tile, and then
mhm,
Nick just actually demoed some of the database as a service and marketplace features as part
mhm,
of Tanzu Platform 10.2 as well. And so you saw the marketplace dashboard there as part of Apps Manager for
mhm,
developers to very easily be able to go in and consume self-service, those services like the GenAI tile, as well as the database for a PG vector database, and very easy to not only bind to those instances and leverage keys that are provided by the platform and rotated by the platform, so that that's not something that has to be done or manually hard coded into your particular applications. And it's not limited to just these. So Nick, if you jump to
mhm,
that next slide, it's not limited to just those. There's many different services that you have the ability as a platform engineer to curate for your developers, and again be able to provide them services that are blessed by the organization and already pre-secured and hardened and all of those things. And so a lot of big benefits here. It's not just data services, but also, like we talked about, some of the partner services and then the model services, as Nick just demoed. So I think it's time to jump into number 4 because we've got 12 minutes left. So let's see if we can
whew,
get through these last two. We just finished that demo.
yeah.
So Nick, tell us
Mhm.
about multi-tenant app delivery.
Okay, and one of my favorite features, really, about Tanzu Platform, and it's a feature that doesn't get enough credit, I think, is that really it's a true multi-tenant application PaaS platform that has hard multi-tenancy built into it, right? So we talked about Diego. Diego is a container scheduler. It's been around for a decade, over a decade, quite some time. But it's an easy way for applications to get pushed to the platform and run and be like isolated and kind of controlled from each other, where you get a lot of the benefits of like network isolation and all these things. But the really great thing is that we start to see, because of this true hard multi-tenancy, we don't have some of the conflicting issues of like other like container level or like platform level issues of like in the Kubernetes world. You see things are much closer to the metal or the infrastructure at the developer layer, where they could deploy something that takes over the entire cluster, and then therefore you kind of get that pattern of like, well, how do we deploy Kubernetes clusters? Does every app team get their own cluster? Does every app get their own cluster? And you start to see, like, at scale, hundreds, thousands, potentially tens of thousands of Kubernetes clusters across all these different organizations and business units, and that just becomes uh, a problem. And then you start to see a ton of platform people managing all those clusters, and then you have all these fleet management tools and all these different things because of that problem that entails that there's not really true multi-tenancy like in Kubernetes per se, or other container level schedulers and things of that nature. So it's a great thing really about Tanzu Platform, is that the multi-tenancy is there and allows our foundations, our deployments of Tanzu Platform to be quite large. And really, we have a like the we don't have this slide here. We have a slide where we talk about our developer platform engineer to developer ratio, where in some studies we had some study done recently. I can't remember the name of it, but we're starting to see, like, you could see easily 200 developers being supported by one platform engineer,
Mhm.
and in a lot of cases that's like the lower average. Like, we have other customers that's like 500 to 1. I was, as a past developer, I was in probably exceeding the 501 range as well, where we had 2 to 3 people supporting thousands of developers. That's quite common. We have some customers that have tens of thousands of developers using this platform with, very in relation to a very few number of platform level people running it and managing it. It's quite nice there. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. I can show that in my other foundation, and then we'll go to number 5.
Well, hold on. Actually, I was going to suggest
Mm-hmm.
maybe we go to number 5 first, and then you can do both at the same time because I think you can, given what they are.
Look at
Does that
you.
work? I know. I'm
Yes,
trying to be efficient. Yeah, let's do that.
peak
So
efficiency. All right,
let's
demo in a
jump to number
second, right?
5. So
Mm-hmm.
number 5 is the fact that Tanzu Platform really provides a polyglot runtime environment. And I'll talk a little bit more about what this means, but then also canary deployments. And we're going to try to demo both of these. We'll see if we get through all of it. But we actually
Mm-hmm.
demoed it on CF Weekly a couple of weeks back, and we can probably link to that as
Mm-hmm.
well. But with Tanzu Platform, we really want to simplify and standardize the container build process for developers. A lot of the other solutions today, they require you to go through, just a very manual process to get to a point where you have an image that can be deployed. And with Tanzu Platform, this really begins with our source code. Nick has already kind of demoed that CF push command. And what's
Mm-hmm.
happening there behind the scenes is that built-in build packs are actually going through and analyzing the code to detect the language, the framework, the required runtime components, the middleware, all of the dependencies and all of those things. And that really eliminates a lot of the manual Docker file maintenance. And then what happens even further down the stack is that it assembles that image with, or I should say that container image with a hardened OS stack that is NIST compliant. It ensures security from the base layer up, and it doesn't stop there. The platform actually maps and maintains application dependencies. It tracks and updates all of the bound services, the runtime libraries, and all of those things to reduce the vulnerabilities. And as Nick pointed out earlier, it also avoids some of that drift over time. And so, it's really powerful in that, it's really helping you inject all of those target specific, application specific variables and dependencies during that deployment process. And so it helps really ensure that from a security perspective, we're really securing how that application is running from the base layer up. And because of build packs, we have the ability to have a developer who is developing in Spring in one environment, and we are the curator of Spring from a Java perspective. But maybe you have another developer who is developing for .NET, and they can both be developing in their application framework and push to the same platform. And that is part of the beauty of it being a polyglot runtime environment. And I just referenced Java and sorry, Spring and .NET there, but I mean, there's a whole host of languages that are supported using build packs as part of the platform. And then Nick, do you want to jump in and talk a little bit more also about some of the canary deployment aspects of things?
Yeah, sure. So in part of that, we have the ability to deploy applications within a canary lifestyle. I'm going to say that we probably can't, like, we're really short on time, so I'm just going to show it here, and then we'll go to the orgs and spaces. I don't think I have time to do the
Yeah,
full
you're good.
deployment of
You're
this,
good.
right? But essentially, it allows you, right? If you think about like the canary in the coal mine concept, right, where um, you have some like a few canaries, or you want to update your application, you want to deploy a new version, but you want to only roll it out just a little bit, right? And in e-commerce or like kind of web scale traffic, like you, it's a common pattern to do what we call canary deployments. It's now just integrated within Tanzu Platform in the CFCLI, so you don't have to have an external tooling to do that anymore, which is really nice. But you're able to do that and just say, hey, have just like an n number of instances. So let's do a rolling deployment, and let's just say like 20, 40, 60. Do that first, set of 1 or 2 instances, and then validate that new instance of that new canary is good. And if it's bad, roll it back and fail it and roll back that deployment. So that's a quick high level of what's going on there. Uh, Before that, it was maybe people would orchestrate that with other tooling, and you have multiple copies of the app, and then you have something routed between the two. It's just all baked in now, so it's really nice, and then that's good to kind of see there as well. But let's go show what we can do in like 4 minutes. I'll just focus on the multi-tenancy aspect there and see how much time we have left from there. But let's see here. Let's go. I'm going to go to my other foundation, my larger foundation. Well, this will make more of an impact here. Excuse me, I had to cough there for a second. But this is what my larger foundation, and what's really going on here is we have this concept of orgs and spaces, right? So I have within one deployment multiple orgs, and then typically within a real world customer in the past life, an organization was mapped to a business unit. Let's say e-commerce or manufacturing or HR or whatever, right? Um, Here we have different organizations within our Tanzu friends here. We have product marketing, we have the solution architects. We drill into that. So some of the folks here within Tanzu, they're our solution architects. So I created an org called solution architects, and then I've given each solution architect a space so they can all deploy their application, right? If we go into Corby's got doing a lot of work here. He's got a lot of MCP servers. He's the author of that CF MCP client that we just saw earlier, and he's doing a lot of things in here. He's got a lot of services ready to go. So he's doing his own thing, but that's all isolated from everyone else in the solution architect org and everyone else in the foundation. So that's kind of that beauty, right? Where we may see many orgs, but then thousands of spaces, whether that be for developer or development team. Typically, it's like you get a developer team a space, and then you get them across multiple foundations for HA, DR, yada yada, that type of thing. That's kind of what we see within that. It's the beauty of the platform where we have a clean interface. They have just enough infrastructure to deploy their apps and use it, but not enough to impact the multi-tenancy of the system, where we can have thousands of spaces typically per deployment, per foundation, or if not more. And yeah, if you want to see the Canary demo, we've already done it on Cloud Foundry Weekly Live. You can check that out. But yeah, I can't pull off a demo in 2 minutes. I'm sorry on that last part, but it's already recorded. Check out, and also, yeah, I do run a podcast called Cloud Foundry Weekly Live usually every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we kind of cover a lot of these topics. So
Yeah.
with that, I will hand back to you, Darren, for any closing thoughts. I know we're very close on time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, and I think at the end of the day, Tanzu Platform 10.2 is completely stacked full of new capabilities, new features, as well as bringing Tanzu Hub front and center for organizations to better and more easily manage their Cloud Foundry foundations at scale. And it is built for AI app delivery. We're helping organizations speed up both agentic and generative AI app development, but also delivering those apps not just in a test dev perspective, but really to production. And I think that's one of the things that is really vital as part of kind of the evolution of where our apps have come from. When we think about the legacy monoliths and now moving more toward intelligent apps, and then helping with capacity visibility. I talked a lot about build packs here just a little bit ago, and some of what we're doing from a just the Polyglot application, deployment. But giving you that ability to ensure that governance and compliance is a thing that you're able to adhere to, and also report on for governance and compliance needs within your organization. And all of this really aims to help enhance developer efficiency across the board. And so lots of good things in Tanzu Platform 10.2. Hopefully the 5 features that we called out are just a few of the reasons why organizations should continue to look toward delivering their own platform as a service solution inside of their environment with Tanzu Platform. And then Nick, if you advance one slide, I would probably be put to a lot of shame if I didn't call out Tanzu Explorer, or sorry, VMware Explorer,
Yeah.
in Las Vegas here in just a week and a half. We're a week and a half
Mm-hmm.
away, and then also Spring One is happening in Vegas the same week. And so if hopefully, those of you that are watching, you're planning to attend, we have lots of great content out there, not just on Tanzu Platform 10.2, but also the future of, where we're headed with Tanzu is highlighted in some of that. And then certainly for, our developer community that is, certainly many of them are leveraging Spring today. Lots of great content on the Spring One track as well. And then I think the last slide was actually CF Weekly, but I know we're at the top of the hour. Really appreciate
Mm-hmm.
everybody joining today. And yeah, please join us for Cloud Foundry Weekly sometime soon as well.
Very cool. Thank you.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Darren. Thank you all for joining us today. This has been recorded and will be available on demand shortly after the end of this presentation. Hope to see you guys in Las Vegas for VMware Explore, and we hope to see you guys at our next event tomorrow, Cloud Foundry Weekly. You'll see Nick there. Thank you all. Have a great week.